What's up, Death Dolls?
Hey, y'all.
Thank you guys for joining us on our latest installment of Makeup&Murder, the YouTube channel where beauty and blood collide. I'm Nicky Elliott Nelson.
And I'm Mocha Pennington.
And I guess we're here doing this shit. If you guys don't know how this little YouTube channel works, we cover beauty, wellness, fitness, all of that. Things we like, things we didn't like, and we also bring you two very true crime stories.
Mm-hmm.
So, I actually have like really exciting news that I'm really excited for. And I actually had to write it down because, you know, I'm like apt to forget.
Oh, you don't forget.
You know how I am with names and dates and life. So I'm watching I'm watching Netflix earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this new special on called Crime Scene, The Vanishing at Cecil Hotel. And you guys know Cecil Hotel, right? Cecil Hotel is like that famous hotel in California. I think that season 5 of American Horror Story, The Cortez, that hotel there was like loosely based on the Cecil Hotel or the Hotel Cecil.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing. So they're like both two shitty hotels, but that's where I see the similarities ending. Because it seemed like in the what is it? The show. Okay. Seems like in the show, they like made it seem like it was from like ghostly phenomena and shit like that. Mm-hmm. In real life, it just seems like, you know, economic disparities created a bunch of unfavorable situations, which, you know, ended up in crime. Did you know that the Cecil Hotel, like, a lot of people, it was on like downtown LA, which apparently is not a super cool place to live.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I heard that.
So they have this place called Skid Row where apparently a lot of homeless people live. Well, the Cecil Hotel, like basically, long story short, homeless people were living in the Cecil Hotel. And like it was taken over by new management, and they tried to put the people out.
They said we.
And well, so they got like some notice from the government. You guys will have to watch for more details. They got some notice from the government that was like, you can't put these people out. They like it was weird how they worked it, but like they have every right to be there is basically the thing. Yeah, so I mean that was kind of cool. Anyway, like that was not the point of what this was. I'm so sorry, y'all. Guess effing what?
What?
Our girl, Stephanie Harlow, is like in that it's in that documentary in a major effing way.
Oh. Which one are you talking about?
The crime scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel.
Okay, because I heard that she was like, her footage was used for another documentary as well.
Was it really?
Yeah.
What?
But I didn't know what
was it
called.
a different one?
Yeah, it was a different one.
So she's been in 2? Mm. Oh my, you guys know, Stephanie Harlow, just like some backstory. Stephanie Harlow has been like a friend to us since before she even knew we were starting this channel, right?
Yeah.
This is our second channel. We have another channel, Tea Time, where we cover YouTube drama in all its essence. And Stephanie Harlow actually comes to some of our live shows sometimes.
She comments.
So yeah, she comments, she hangs out. She's like one of the people who is like, she was like our first, I don't know, true crime channel friend.
Yeah.
You know, like she was
so far only.
Yeah, so far our only, you know, but you know, we'll make some more at some point. I'm sure of it. You know who probably hates us? That Bailey Sarian. She's probably like, yeah, fuck
trying
them.
To take my gig. We didn't know, girl.
So either she knows and she doesn't care.
Yeah.
Or, because she's probably like, oh, it was just a mistake. Like, if she's
like,
heard us.
Who the fuck are they?
Exactly. She's like, first of all, I don't fucking care. Secondly, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Long story short, we're gonna make other friends, we're sure. But for now, we have a really good one. And she was in the like Netflix documentary. That was super cool.
Yeah.
So apparently she's in another one, unless we're confusing this other one with the same. I'm scared. You promise? We're not?
No.
Holy shit, she's been in 2. That's so cool. I'm super excited for you, Stephanie. Oh my God.
Hopefully they paid you for it.
Right? Well, you know what? They probably, you know, here's the thing. And that kind of, they pay you in exposure.
Well,
a lot of times they pay you in exposure, or they try to pay you in exposure. Hope, you know what? That's none of our damn business. That's actually none of our damn business.
Yeah,
you know, whatever. You guys, So happy that you're here today. So you guys, on today's video, I really wanted to, like, when we were thinking about like what kind of stories, what we were gonna do, like what we were gonna get into, things of that nature. I really wanted to, for me personally, I wanted to do something to commemorate Black History Month. I know that it is rarely celebrated anymore. It's not something that people like super get into, especially because there's a pandemic, but that's really no excuse. Like after elementary school, like at least here in the States, I know YouTube is like international and it's a thing that everybody can look at, but let's be honest. Mostly in the States is where Black History Month is. Well, February. I think in other countries they celebrate it like different.
Yeah, it's a different month.
I think in the UK it's in September,
October.
Yeah, one of those. Which must just like be a buzzkill for Halloween. Do they have Halloween in the UK?
Yes. I just don't think they celebrate as like, they're not as into it as people from the States are.
So what's your excuse to get slutty and dress up? Do you guys not have one?
Thirsty Thursday.
Anyway, so I wanted to do something for me that personally like commemorated Black History Month, but it was kind of like, I was struggling. I was just thinking like, okay, so how am I going to incorporate, you know, a theme into Black History Month? It seems like it might be like difficult to do. And then it just dawned on me. And I was like, oh yeah, wrongfully convicted, of course.
Okay.
I did a quick Google search and I was just like top 5 wrongful conviction cases in the U.S. 3 of the 5 were, I won't even say 3 of the 5 were Black men. So there you have it. I was like, I knew my instinct was telling me that I was gonna strike some sort of gold. And I did. So before we get into my story, guys, I have to give you a product review. And boy, do I have one for you. So we talked a little bit briefly on the very last video about maybe possibly reviewing and talking about products that we didn't really like love. We weren't super into. And boy, do I have one for you. So guys, we've got to talk. We have got to talk about the raw sugar sensitive skin formula. You know, I took a chance. I really, really did. I said, you know, let's buy the affordable new brand from Target. You know?
The packaging's cute.
The packaging is so cute. Look at the little bamboo thing, which I think is actually
plastic as hell. That ain't not real bamboo.
I said, let's take a chance. Let's get the girl who doesn't have a lot of frills going on, you know? Let's just see if we can take her for a spin. Maybe she's a good time. She's not, honey. She's not a good time. Listen, she says she's clinically tested, safe for sensitive skin. That I don't know who they tested her on, honey, but whoever it was must have the skin of a fucking champ because my skin broke out within 3 days.
Oh,
you know, I 86 the little body wash pretty quickly on, and I was just like, well, you know. Because the body wash, it says that it's scent-free or some shit. It's not. It smells like cucumber, green tea, aloe vera, which are things that you think that wouldn't, like, fuck you over. Like, let's be honest. Like, I mean, you want to smell it? It smells, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't it smell like, oh, that's not going to cause me any, like, harm?
Clean. I smell the cucumber.
You know, it smells like all clean and stuff. And then I was like, okay, so maybe that's what's doing it. Like, we'll just set this to the side. And then the lotion here is completely, like, unscented, right? Like, you want to talk about a plain Dane, honey. This is Jennifer Aniston right here.
It smells just like lotion.
It smells like it's scent-free. There's nothing going on. I retired this 3 days in because I was getting, you know, the chest acne was coming back and I was not a fan.
No.
So I just started to use this alone thinking that would cure it. It did not. So, you know, midway into last week, I started using Mocha's body wash. I can report there are no breakouts, but I've been smelling like a wealthy middle-aged woman for about a week now. And I finally know how the other side lives. Don't know if I want to go back. Okay, are you guys ready for my story? This is the story of Daryl Hunt. So you guys, Daryl Hunt was born February 24th, 1965. And he has an older sister and a younger brother. Now, they were raised by their grandparents, and an early on piece of information is when his mom used to come and visit them, he was actually told, he and his siblings were told that his mom was his aunt. So he lived out his early life thinking that his mother was his aunt.
Okay.
I'm not sure why, but it's probably
she was young.
Yeah.
She was probably real young. Like, oh, that's just your aunt.
Right,
she
right.
Probably had him. She was like
very young, which
before high school age, probably.
Yeah, that could have definitely played into it. Well, by the time he was 9, when Darryl was 9, his mother, who he thought was his aunt, was murdered. And when he was later asked about it, he said, he never really got over that. Super unfortunate. Now, Darryl was born in the town of Winston-Salem, which as soon as I heard the name Winston-Salem, I said, that sounds a little racist. It was in North Carolina, which also sounds a little racist.
No.
I did a little digging and I found out it's a little racist. So Winston-Salem has a history of racial unrest. Winston-Salem being the same place where just 70 years earlier, mill workers forced their way into the city jail with the intention of killing a man named Russell High. Now, Russell High was a black man whose crime has, since this whole thing got unfolded, was dubbed as wrong time, wrong place, wrong race.
Oh.
Now, the mob ended up actually breaching the perimeter of the jail, and they fired a shot that was intended to kill Russell, but they missed, and they ended up hitting a white man in the stomach.
Oh, no. They said, oh, no.
Now, the subsequent loot and shoot frenzy carried out by the mostly white mob became known as the Winston-Salem Race Riot. Now, you guys, this wasn't the only or the last race riot to take place in Winston-Salem. November 2nd, 1967, a race riot began when police officers hit and killed a black man named James Ellett. Now, they say they were trying to arrest him for public drunkenness. That particular riot continued for months. So, in looking at it, Winston-Salem, I don't know what brought me there. Something about the name. I said, I think you guys may hang witches, and if not, there's definitely some racism there.
Yeah.
I didn't look into the witches, but I struck gold with the racism. And then I asked, little public poll. I was like, so exactly how racist is North Carolina? I asked some friends on the Twitter. They were like, well, it was one of the strongholds for the South. I was like, oh, well, yeah, there's that part.
Yeah.
Now, enter a Debra Skies. Now, Debra Skies was due in to work at the Sentinel. Now, the Sentinel was a afternoon paper at 6 a.m. on August 10th, 1984. And Deborah had just been hired on a few weeks earlier. Deborah was married, and she was living in a place called Mooresville, if you guys are familiar with that, with her parents, while she and her husband looked for a home in Winston-Salem.
They didn't live together?
They lived together, but they lived with her parents.
Oh, okay.
They were just moving, they had just moved from a different town. She had just got hired on at the Sentinel, so they were staying in Mooresville with her parents until she got,
I was about to say, I'm just going to be living with my husband, maybe.
Until they got there. Sometimes in history, the husband and wife weren't allowed, no, they were always allowed to live together, right? It was sleeping in the same bed or something?
Whenever they were dating or got engaged, they weren't allowed to live with each other. Or it was frowned upon if they did. But back in the 50s, they had the separate beds in the television
I Love
shows.
Lucy.
But not in real life. Damn in real life, honey.
Oh, so that was only a TV thing? In real life, they was knocking the boots, huh?
Especially in I Love Lucy, because he was, I think he was Puerto Rican or something. married to a white woman. Oh, honey, that ain't.
Oh, is that why
like
they separated
that.
them?
They didn't like that. And I Love Lucy, honey.
Racism strikes again. But I heard she was like a real fire starter. And she was like, nope, this is how it's going to go. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? She told America, you're going to sit there and shut the fuck up. And guess what they did? They sat there and shut the fuck up and tuned in every week.
To watch her try to be in the damn show that she had no business being in.
I would have just put her in the show.
I was here, Lucy. Just get in the damn show and make a fool of yourself and we can move on.
Now do you see why you shouldn't be in the show? You're not
Lucy.
that good. You didn't like Lucy? I loved Lucy.
Hated her.
I loved Lucy so much. Okay. So that morning, the morning of August 10th, Deborah reported to work, to the Sentinel, but she parked like a few blocks away. And at first, I wondered why that was a significant detail, and it turns out that just like any city, if you're in the downtown area, if you want like the primo parking near your building, it costs more. So the further you park away from the buildings, the cheaper it's gonna be. So she parks a few blocks away. It was like the middle of the day. She couldn't have sensed that there was any danger. She's in, a pretty well-populated area. So she probably thinks that it's gonna be okay. It's a clear light of day. Her body was found on a grassy slope off the West End Boulevard across from Crystal Towers. Now, Crystal Towers is a high rise for senior citizens. It was almost 2 blocks away from where she worked. Senior citizens gotta have high rises too now.
But it seems like it's like, oh, honey, how old are you? Oh, no. Only for senior citizens.
No, you do. There are places like that. Like they'll be like, oh, under 65.
Oh,
absolutely not here.
Shady Pines was like that.
So a local man ends up coming forward and told the police that Deborah had been seen with, of course, an African-American man on the morning of the crime. The police arranged a lineup and the man identified Daryl Hunt as the man who had been seen with Deborah. Now, another black man had also been identified or implicated. He was in jail.
For a different
crime. He was already in jail, so it was just like, well, it couldn't be him because he was in jail. But that one, he was free all day.
Well,
bring him in. So, not long after, Daryl's girlfriend was arrested on larceny charges.
What's that?
Larceny? I remember, but I don't remember. Like, I know arson is setting fires. I think larceny is just, like, lying. I don't know. Hold on, y'all. Let me figure out what larceny is real quick. This is the beauty of the internet. Larceny. Hold on. Let me see if I can spell it right. Theft of personal property. So, stealing.
You should have said that. Stealing.
Right. Get
larceny.
Fancy fucking words. So she was taken in on larceny charges. In the beginning, she told investigators that Daryl was with her the night of the murder, so he couldn't have been the one to do it. But after a few hours of interrogation, she told police that Daryl had admitted to her that he had murdered Deborah.
Oh, so they were probably
wearing her down. I mean, here's the thing. Like, a confession you get out of somebody that you've literally made so tired that they will tell you anything so you can go away. Do you think they do it on purpose?
They do it on purpose.
It's just like torturing someone. Like, before the first blade touches my skin, honey, tell me what you need me to say.
Well, it depends on how you're torturing them.
Okay. So she later recanted, but prosecutors presented her statements before the jury in the trial that was to take place anyway. So she took it back and said, no, I didn't mean it. Like, that's the thing. Like, if someone is making a confession under duress, you shouldn't be able to use that. Yeah. That's fucking stupid. It's dumb.
Should be a role, honey.
It should be. Daryl, of course, as a result of this, ended up being tried for first-degree murder. Eyewitness testimony placed Daryl at the scene, which, here's the thing. There is so much data and so much evidence that's been collected that says that eyewitness testimony isn't that great. That, first of all, identifying a suspect, like, oh, that's the person, I remember seeing them. Humans apparently aren't very good at doing them. Now, they do have programs that they've run in Europe where they call them, I think, super identifiers, where people who actually have, like, a genetic disposition to be able to do that are identified and made part of a police force. But the regular human beings, we don't possess that great of an ability to do it. And they also say that identifying people of different races is particularly difficult.
Yeah.
Because like if someone's another race than you, like it's just hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and I can see it too. Like, I see it. I see it definitely being difficult. So I don't know why that eyewitness testimony is still being used.
It sure is.
But it gets used a lot. Hunt took the stand and testified that he had nothing to do with the murder and didn't even know Deborah. The jury deliberated for 3 days before convicting Daryl, and he was sentenced to life in prison. On appeal, the North Carolina Supreme Court overturned the conviction because the prosecution introduced statements from Hunt's girlfriend that she had later recanted. Hunt was released on bond in 1989. So the case was to be retried. You know, you post bail, you know, you get out, you're out in the regular society for a minute. You know, the case is going to be retried. And the prosecution actually approached Daryl and said, hey, we'll give you time served if you just admit to doing the murder. And Daryl was like, no.
I didn't do it.
How about this? I didn't kill anybody, so I'm not going to admit to doing a murder that I didn't do.
Hell.
They offered him a plea deal. He says, nah. The case was retried in a different county by an all-white jury. The jury deliberated for less than 2 hours before convicting Daryl again.
Oh my goodness, that poor man.
So here's the thing, like, it's really unfortunate. That's what I'll say. It's really unfortunate.
Well,
like, if you're supposed to be tried in front of a jury of your peers, I always take that to mean people of the same, like the same age, right,
the same gender,
right, yeah,
same background,
right. And sometimes, like that word peer, like when I think of peer, I think someone closely in relation to me.
Yeah.
Because also, like, it's very easy. Like, American pastime is to other people, right? We love othering people. It's how we can let some of the most like grotesque atrocities take place because we put them in this other box and then we say, oh, they're less than human. They're subhuman. They're nothing like me. So it's okay, right? And so, like, if you're actually genuinely tried in front of your peers, these are people who are able to look at you and there's like an air of relatability. And they want the best for you because they want the best for themselves and they see themselves in you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of disappointing how, like, can I get a real jury of my peers, please? Because those people over there are going to put me away.
We don't relate to each other, honey.
They're going to put me away for a very long time. Like,
yeah.
I'm seeing it happen. So, here's the thing. Daryl goes back to jail. He was free for 11 months. Could you imagine being completely, like, free for 11 months? They come to you with this plea deal, which he's
probably like, damn it, I should have done took that.
So here's my thing. If they come to you with a plea deal that is so, like, that is a pretty dramatic plea deal, right? For murder in the first degree, we are going to give you time served, which I think was like in the area of 5 years, if you just plead guilty. That to me says you've got no case.
Yeah.
You've got no case. You are walking back from life in prison to time served. You have no case. Racism helped win this case for the prosecution, basically, right? So I would be so pissed. The minute they were taking me back to jail, I would be like, this is some bullshit.
This mad as hell.
Bullshit. Now, after Daryl's conviction, his attorney, Mark Rabel and Ben Dowling. Now, here's the thing. Mark was his original attorney. He ended up working this case for over 20 years.
Oh, God.
I love to hear stories of attorneys. Well, I love to hear stories of attorneys that, like, have cases that they really just can't let go because it just shows, like, human conviction and the conviction of their spirit. And I really love seeing that. But another side to the coin that I really hate is seeing how, like, it etches away at pieces of them.
Yeah.
Like, you see, like, there were so many movies that I watched. There's one recently, Dark Waters, I think was the name of it, or Poisonous Water. It had Mark Ruffalo in it. It was just...
No, it's okay.
You know who Mark Ruffalo is, don't you? And he was an attorney in this movie, and apparently Teflon is bad stuff. Apparently Teflon is awful. It, like, gets into the water supply, or at least this company who was making it, which I think their name is Teflon. I think that's the company. Anyway, it leaches into the water supply, causes cancer, all kinds of stuff. But the guy that Mark Ruffalo was playing was an attorney who just like sunk his heels in and couldn't let it go.
Couldn't let it go.
Couldn't
It
let it
aged
go.
him.
Yeah, well, I mean, it did. So his two attorneys filed for DNA testing in the case. In October of 2004, the DNA results came. There was no match between Darryl and the semen found at the scene of the crime. Now, we haven't gotten into it too much at this point, but Deborah had been sexually assaulted and murdered, right? Mm-hmm. So at this point, whenever the DNA comes in and none of Darryl's semen is there, everyone on the side of the prosecution says basically, well, there were technically 2 crimes committed that day, a sexual assault and a murder. Just because Darryl wasn't involved in the sexual assault does not mean he wasn't involved in the murder.
Yeah.
And so, based on that alone, all of his later appeals get denied. Isn't that shitty? Now, in 2004, the DNA from the crime scene was actually run again and found to be a match for a William E. Brown, who eventually ended up, confessing to the murder. Yes. At which point, Hunt was awarded $750,000 in state compensation. Wow. He also settled a civil rights suit against the city of Winston-Salem for $1.65 million.
Yes.
Now, it's funny because there's actually a registration for like an exoneree registration. It's like the national registration for exonerees. Mm-hmm. And on their website, it will tell you that Daryl Hunt has passed away. If you do a little digging, though, it's a little deeper than that. He did not just pass away, he committed suicide. Oh, no. So he took his own life. Apparently, while he was in the system, though, he became a reformed Muslim and worked to educate, local citizens about his case. It must be extraordinarily difficult to spend most of your life locked away in the system, especially knowing that you didn't commit a crime. There was nothing that you did, and no one is listening to you. Yeah. That's just, it's a story that I wanted to highlight because, vilifying Black people is an American pastime, and this is Black History Month, so sorry if we got a little heavy on you, but I just wanted to bring a little bit of awareness about, got a little heavy, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, angels, we're going to take a little break, give you a little pause for the cause. We'll be right back. Hey, Death Dolls. Hope you guys are enjoying Makeup and Murder. If so, check us out on Tea Time, a YouTube channel where we talk about YouTube drama in all of its dirty little essence. Link in the description box. Okay, guys, back to the show. All right, Death Dolls, we are back. You know what I just noticed? Bitch, this is the 3rd week in a row I done went first.
I was ready to go first, and you just started talking. I was like, obviously he's so excited about this story, so just let him tell it.
Okay, that's fine. Y'all, next week Mocha goes first.
Well, we're bi-weekly. Not bisexual, but bi-weekly.
Well, true. All right. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, you know what? Y'all, we think Mocha was lying about Stephanie Harlow being in another documentary.
Oh, yeah, we were discussing on our break.
I think she was just in the one.
Yeah.
Still very good. Netflix, I'd watch it.
I lied by mistake.
Very good. She was, listen, and this wasn't just Netflix throwing her in, once or twice. They used a good portion of her research.
Well.
So, you got a story for us?
I do. Before I jump in.
Okay.
I need to talk about a few products, y'all.
A few?
Well.
I'm excited.
A few weeks ago, I was watching a Patrick Star video, and he was talking about people with watery eyes. Because if you start wearing makeup, sometimes your eyes all water. And who has that problem? Because I do.
Me too. All the time.
All the time. And then he was talking about this Aqua Seal by Makeup Forever. You just put that in your waterline. Connect.
Right,
then I see it. I'm blind. I can't see shit.
There you go. Y'all see it.
The Aqua Seal by Makeup Forever. This is $21. It's a little pricey, but it works.
What does it do?
You put on your eyes stop watering. You just put it on your waterline. Your eyes stop watering for some reason. Now it's supposed to. It's not meant for that. But like you're supposed to like put this in eyeshadow and it makes like liquid liner out of the eyeshadow. But I guess it's a TikTok
So it doesn't
hack.
sting, doesn't burn, doesn't do anything weird?
No. My eyes are sensitive as hell, so it just feels fine.
Okay.
Feel like a little bit of coolness on your waterline, honey. And you're
good to
no
go?
more watery eyes, y'all, because they mess up your life.
Do they?
Like,
I could imagine you spending forever on a makeup look.
And then, like, one eye's, like, gone, the other one's perfect. It's
not that I've seen that happen to you more than once.
Okay. At least once a damn week.
You know what? For some reason, like, the way your hair, it's very Mary Tyler Moore. It's very cute.
Well, honey, I'm gonna make it after all.
I love it. Okay, you have a story for... Oh, wait.
No,
we got
a few
more
things now.
So exciting.
All right, I actually just got this palette in my BoxyCharm. The Ace Beauty palette, y'all. I just got this. I had to put a little card here to hide the mirror.
The colors are so pretty.
I love this palette.
You know...
I picked it out. They let you pick out one thing,
really?
so I knew I was going to get it. I love it. I'm wearing water slide. Fun on my lid. Theme park. And vacation.
You know what this palette reminds me of? Does it remind you of another palette that we solemnly swore to never talk about and or review ever? You don't know what I'm saying.
No,
hold on, y'all.
Oh, no.
It doesn't remind you of that at all?
They wish.
Oh, well, I never was an expert in makeup. I stick to what I know.
The yellow.
Yeah?
Yeah, the yellow.
Okay, maybe that's it.
No, I don't know.
Maybe just like the vibrance, like the liveliness of it.
Yeah.
Like, made me think like, oh.
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, okay.
It looks fantastic.
I love it.
It gives, like, this is giving me, like, safari. Like, away on a safari. But, like, obviously not. But it's, like, really, oh, my God, look.
I know.
You made it work. Yeah.
All right, y'all. So, y'all know I have a short story out, y'all. It's featured in this book, The One That Got Away, Volume 3, The Woman in Horror. And, hold on. So my short story, Life, is about a social media influencer held captive by an obsessed fan.
Are you really excited?
I am, I ain't trying to sit here and brag. But, the ebook, it went to #1 on the new releases for horror anthologies. The damn paperback went to #2.
What? Congratulations!
So if you guys haven't picked this up, please do and give it a review. And if you want to, but you're not sure, I have a video where I read about the first part of it. I think it's like 3 minutes long. It's on the publisher's YouTube. I'll link
in the description box below.
I'll link it down in the description box below. Y'all check it out. Let us know what y'all think about it.
You're really gonna like it. It's really good. It's worth the read. And let me tell you, I'm not a fucking nerd, okay? So like reading, boring. I'm just kidding. Like most of my reading is like scholarly journals.
Yeah.
Twitter. Articles for this show. You know what I'm saying? Listen, if I'm going to read novel style material, it has to be really good. And this I've read once, possibly maybe 10 times in the future. Because it's just that good. And it doesn't take a super long time to read.
Yeah, a lot of the stories in here, there's 29 other authors. The stories are pretty short. They're really good. All horror, all by female.
Have you read some of the other stories? I mean, obviously, you're saying they're pretty good. I mean, you couldn't lie, bitch.
Yeah, they're really good.
Are they really that good?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so I might, thumb through there a little bit.
You definitely should.
What if, like, I bought a copy of it and I was just, like, wrap it, and on your next birthday, I'm like, happy birthday!
Better than last year.
Well, with that said... What's the story?
All right, I'm about to jump into my story. Steve, hold on, I'm sorry. I need to adjust this.
Because you can't see shit.
I know, I
can you?
cannot. This is crazy. Okay, hold on. Do I put it back close? Wow.
Life happens.
Okay, Stephen Avery, An Unfortunate Existence.
Oh. I do not feel like this is going to have a happy ending.
Stephen Avery was born in 1962 in Wisconsin to Alan and Dolores Avery, who operated a salvage yard, which, can you imagine, isn't that like a
junkyard?
A junkyard, yeah.
Yeah.
Stephen attended an elementary schools for children who his mother described as very slow.
Okay.
In 1981, a year before marrying his girlfriend, Lori Mathesis, Stephen spent 10 months in jail after he and a friend broke in a bar and robbed it, honey.
Wait, the bar was closed?
Yeah.
And what were you after? Liquor?
No, it was Wisconsin, honey.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, that could be a very profitable idea. Especially, how old were they? If they were underage?
I think they were like 19.
This is not a dumb idea.
Well, they were thirsty, apparently.
Well, I mean, do you know how much he could profit? Never mind.
In 1982, Stephen pled guilty and was convicted of animal cruelty after he and 2 other men threw a cat in a bonfire and watched it burn to death.
Why would you do? You know, animal abuse is a precursor to like other things.
Well, yeah, I never read that. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, like it always starts with smaller and like defenseless animals, and then it sort of progresses its way up.
Well, reflecting back on his actions, he said, "I was young and stupid. I was hanging around the wrong people. So maybe he learned a lesson.
Okay.
Maybe not. We never know." In January of 1985, Stephen got into a dispute with his cousin after she started a rumor that Stephen was masturbating on his front yard, but I think that may be true. The dispute escalated with the two getting in their cars for some reason. I don't know why they got in their cars. I don't know.
They both got in their separate cars?
Yeah, and then he started chasing her down the road. He ran her off the road. He pulled out a gun, held it to her head. Because he just wanted the rumors to stop, apparently. He was like, I don't want you to spreading these rumors about me masturbating on my front lawn.
Okay.
But he was, in his defense, he was like, but it wasn't loaded, though.
I mean...
It wasn't loaded. Once the police were called, he was still sentenced to 6 years in prison for endangering safety while evincing a depraved mind and possession of a firearm. So he was, 6 years in prison for that. So I think it was true. Apparently.
No, yeah.
All right. In July of 85, Penny Bernstein, I think.
Mm-hmm. Bernstein. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bernstein was attacked and sexually assaulted while jogging on Lake Michigan Beach. The victim was presented with a photo lineup, and she named Stephen her assaulter. Stephen was also named her assaulter after a live lineup. Stephen was baffled by this because he was 40 miles away in Green Bay whenever she was attacked.
Yeah.
His alibi was airtight. There were not only like a time-stamped evidence from like receipts that he was purchasing stuff or whatever. Yeah. And like 16 other people were like, yeah, we were hanging out with them. What are you talking about? Yeah. But despite all the glaring evidence, he was charged and convicted. And he was sentenced to 32 years in prison. He made appeals in 87 and 96, but they were denied, honey. In late 1995, a detective from Brown County Police made a call to the, I was like...
Manitowoc? Manitowoc is what we're going to say.
To the county. I made a note in my head, like, find out how, yes, and I totally forgot.
Well.
The jail following a conversation with the inmate. The inmate said that he made an assault years prior that someone else was in jail for. Mm-hmm. So he done did it.
At this point, the inmates are ratting themselves out.
Well, he was like, hell, I'm here for a minute. So you know what else I did? So the detective called the sheriff, and he was like, we already have the right guy. So honey, don't concern yourself with that.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I've heard so many stories where they find out that they have the wrong guy, but they don't want to look stupid. Mm-hmm. So they're just like,
Yeah.
Why bother?
I was like, oh, honey.
Like, so many life situations can be avoided by admitting that you're wrong and doubling back. Like, you know what? I was wrong. I am so sorry. Let me not let someone rot in a jail cell for their entire life because I was wrong. I'll just be like, oh, my bad. You have a confession? Let's let them out. You know, in retrospect, the police work wasn't very great. There were 16 eyewitnesses that said that they were hanging out with him. And receipts of him making purchases across town. It's not that unremarkable that he didn't do it in retrospect.
I guess they don't like people masturbating on front lawns, apparently. So it wasn't until 2002, after serving 18 years in prison, when the Wisconsin Innocent Project started looking into Stephen's case. They used DNA testing that wasn't available when Stephen was first convicted. The DNA test proved that Gregory Allen committed the crime against Penny Bernstein. Oddly, Gregory looked a lot like Stephen.
Okay.
Sorry. And he wasn't present during the photo and the live lineup.
Of course.
Either.
Of course.
Gregory had committed an assault in 83 of the same beach that Penny was. Mm-hmm. And he was actually under surveillance with the police. But I guess they fell asleep whenever that happened or something. Like, they didn't, look into it.
Yeah.
And he was never even considered a suspect. Mm-hmm. Stephen was released.
So, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm so sorry. This is, coming together in my head. You already are eyeing this guy, another guy, for a job.
Yeah. In
the same area. For the same type of crime. Mm-hmm. And another crime of the same caliber gets committed. And instead of saying, you know what? This matches the profile of the guy we're already surveilling. Mm-hmm. You say, oh, no, wait, over there.
Yeah, the guy 40 miles away. He did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Everything happens for a reason.
It sure does, honey. All right. Stephen was released from prison on September 11th, 2003. It was a bittersweet release, though, because he was married and he had kids, too. But his wife done divorced him, honey. And his whole family, they said, oh, honey, they want nothing to do with them.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Even after finding out that he was innocent?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he filed a lawsuit against that county.
That county that we can't pronounce.
Yes, and the former sheriff and the former district attorney for $36 million in damages,
Give
honey.
it to me, and he got it?
He did a few years later, but honey, well, that ain't all.
The family wants something to do with him now, huh?
No, honey. Well, they probably did start messing with them.
They probably did, hey, daddy, how you doing? No, you good.
But on October 31st, 2005, photographer Tessa Houchback.
Well, there's no CH.
Houchback went missing following a scheduled appointment with Stephen Avery at his home, which doubled as his auto salvage business. She came to take photos of his sister's minivan because they're about to sell it on a website, honey. When the police got involved, honey, they done found Tessa's car in the salvage yard, kind of concealed, hidden, but partially hidden. I was like, yeah, that's her car. And blood stains that matched Stephen's DNA was in that damn car too, honey. Upon further investigation, they found bone fragments in a burner pit.
Not a boner pit.
Burner pit. Sorry, y'all. Mine in the gutter. It's been a while. In a burner pit, close by Stephen's house. And they matched hers, honey. Tessa's. Stephen claimed that he was framed in order to discredit him for winning the civil case.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, on November 11, 2005, he was arrested for murder, kidnapping, sexual assault, and mutilation of a corpse. Because of Stephen's lawsuit against the county, they handed over the case to the county because I was like, honey, we already fumbled.
It's y'all fumbled the ball already.
So, but they monitored the investigation, but they weren't part of it.
Yeah.
They were part of it, but not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. While searching Stephen's bedroom, honey, they found Tessa's keys, her car keys to that car. In pretrial hearings, the charges of kidnapping and sexual assault were dropped. Stephen's nephew, Brendan Dassey, confessed and later took back that he helped his uncle kill Tessa and dispose of her body.
So he confessed it, but then took it back.
Yeah. He confessed it and he was like, oh, no, never mind. No, that didn't happen.
Okay.
I was acting a damn fool.
If this is going where I think it's going.
At the trial, Stephen's attorney believed that evidence were tampered with to incriminate Stephen.
Mm-hmm.
His attorneys discovered an evidence box that was used for Penny's rape trial.
Uh-huh.
It was like unsealed, and there was like a vial of his blood, Stephen's,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the lid of it was like punctured. Obviously punctured. They was like, oh no, honey, they put the blood in that car.
Mm-hmm.
They claimed that the blood in Tessa's car had come from the vial.
Mm-hmm.
And on March 18th, 2007, Stephen was found guilty for first-degree murder, but was acquitted of the corpse mutilation charge. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In a separate trial, Brendan was convicted of murder, rape, and mutilation of a corpse. Stephen began a long stream of appeals, which, none of them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like another video about like the appeals and all that, because it's very, it's complicated. Somehow Kim Kardashian's name gets thrown in there, yeah. But there's a 10-episode series on this case on Netflix called Makeup&Murder. So if y'all are interested in checking it out, check it out.
Do you think he did it?
Yeah.
You think he definitely did it?
I think so. I think that he did it.
So you think he did? He committed the murder?
Yeah. Like
What kind of idiot has got like millions of dollars coming his way, and he's just like, you know what? In the meantime, I think I'll just kill somebody.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
I'd be like, you know what? I'm good here. I'm good. They about to lose that trial. I'm about to give me some money.
Like, that's crazy.
I might invest in that stock market they keep talking about, you know?
At first I was like, no, he didn't do it. And I was like, no, he did. Because it doesn't make any sense. How he, hired the lady to come take the photos.
Yeah.
He knowingly hired her, and then she just comes out missing,
I don't know.
Her car's in the yard, the key. But then they said it was like, well, they were tampering the evidence. It could be. I don't know. But I think.
So, okay, here's the thing. Two things can be happening at one time. So maybe he totally did it. Mm-hmm. But maybe the cops also wanted to make sure he went down for this time. So they also tampered with the evidence.
Yeah, they could have.
Because see, the thing is, sometimes people treat the cops like they're your friends. Mm-hmm. And I have a friend who was a public defender. And she's not anymore. She got out of the business. She said, "Who?" She said, "Who?"
Bye, honey.
You could do anything in this world that you want to do. Don't you ever become a public defender. I say, "Oh, girl, you didn't have to worry about it." But she says that most of the time, she would get these cases in front of her, and she'd be like, we can't take this to trial, because I was of course I was pressing her. I was just like, all public defenders do is tell you to plea. That's all they want you to do, so they can get the case off the books and go on about their day, so they can put you inside of the criminal system, right? So you can be part of this private jail complex thing, make people money, corporate you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Shit in hell. So she was like, no, actually, I would love to have defended more of my clients, but the problem is the cops are the first ones on the scene, and they always think that they're their friends. And she's like, the cops are not your friends. They're not your buddies. They're not your pals. If they're sitting there and they're telling you, just confess to it. I'm trying to work with you, but you got to give me... No!
I ain't your friend.
They're not your buddy. Their job is to crime, conviction. It's a numbers game. They are not your dear old friends.
Trying to meet a quota, honey.
Exactly. They are trying to meet their quota. Don't get caught up. Listen, you can... Wait, hold on. Everything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. And they're going to, so...
Okay.
Wait till your attorney
keep your mouth shut and not your legs.
Well, where you're going, you might want to keep your legs shut, too. As long as you can, Well... It's not... the inevitable. you learn. Oh my God, angels. You know what? This video is coming to you on a week where there is no tea time.
Yeah.
We are, as we speak, we are currently at a wedding. You know?
Not mine.
I was gonna say our childhood best friend is her little sister is getting married. Not Mocha, not me, not her.
Someone much younger.
Someone much younger. So we're at the point in life where our best friends' siblings are getting married, and
We're not.
So there's that. But you know what?
There's an open bar. So.
I was gonna say the same thing. There's an open bar, so you know
We
what?
may find our
I was
husband.
gonna say we're gonna find Mr. Right that night. And if we don't find Mr. Right, we'll find Mr. Right now. How about that? That's all I'm worried about. Get me through this weekend. So, you know what? We hope that you guys enjoyed this installment of Makeup and Murder. We definitely enjoyed filming it for you. If you're not subscribed to our channel, what are you waiting for? I mean, you know, I would say...
Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah, I would say that
Please.
It gets better, but I mean, I won't lie to you. You know, this is probably a highlight. So, you know, hit the little subscribe button and, you know, we'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll just do this all again, you know? What stories do you guys want to see? Give us some suggestions. Let us know something. And you know what? We'll do it for you, all right? Now, listen. Remember this. Life's a blush. And then you die.